Let's slow this down for a second.
Because when we talk about Brock Purdy, the conversation still moves too fast.
There's noise. There's debate.
There are labels that refuse to go away.
System quarterback.
Game manager.
Product of Kyle Shanahan.
And yet, week after week, season after season, Brock Purdy keeps answering the same way.
With poise. With precision.
With wins. Now, here's the thing.
This isn't about defending Brock Purdy anymore.
This is about understanding what he actually is and why the San Francisco 49ers are no longer hedging their bets.
Because inside that building, this isn't a tryout. It's a commitment.
Let's start with what makes Purdy different before we even talk about stats. Quarterbacking at the NFL level is not just arm strength and athleticism. It never has been. It's about processing speed, timing, anticipation, and emotional control when everything around you is chaotic. And this is where Brock Purdy quietly separates himself. Watch the tape.
Not the highlights, the tape.
Purdy consistently makes decisions early in the down. He identifies leverage before the snap. He understands where the pressure is coming from and, more importantly, where it isn't. That's not accidental.
That's not luck. That's quarterbacking. Kyle Shanahan's offense is demanding. It requires precision, rhythm, and trust. Miss a read by half a second and the play is dead. Hold the ball too long and the protection breaks down.
This system exposes quarterbacks who hesitate. Purdy doesn't. He plays on time, and when the first read isn't there, he moves fluidly through progressions without panic. That's why you see him hit receivers in stride instead of late. That's why yards after catch stay high.
Now, pause right there.
Because this is where the system QB argument falls apart.
A system does not make decisions for you. A system does not read coverage for you. A system does not protect you when the pocket collapses. Brock Purdy does those things himself, and the film backs it up.
One of the most underrated parts of Purdy's game is how he handles pressure, not just sacks, pressure. He doesn't drift backward.
He doesn't bail out early. He slides, he climbs, he resets his base.
Those are veteran habits.
And when he escapes, he keeps his eyes downfield. That alone tells you how confident he is in what he's seeing.
Now let's talk about the injury conversation, because this matters.
When Purdy dealt with physical setbacks, there was a fair question: would it change how he plays?
Quarterbacks who rely heavily on movement often hesitate when they're coming back from injury. They second-guess their escape routes. They rush throws. They avoid hits in ways that disrupt timing. Purdy didn't. He trusted his preparation.
He trusted the protection. And he trusted himself. That's not bravado. That's mental toughness. You can see it in how he handles early contact. One hit doesn't speed him up. One missed throw doesn't spiral into a bad series. That steadiness, that emotional baseline, is exactly what Shanahan values.
And here's something people don't talk about enough.
Kyle Shanahan doesn't protect quarterbacks emotionally. If you can't handle pressure, you don't last, period. He's moved on from first-round picks. He's restructured entire offenses. If Brock Purdy weren't the guy, the 49ers would already be preparing the pivot. They're not. Instead, the offense has expanded with him. More layered concepts. More trust throws over the middle.
more responsibility at the line of scrimmage.
Those are signals.
And quarterbacks don't get those signals unless the staff believes in them.
Now let's talk about the connection with his weapons, because this matters more than fantasy stats ever will. George Kittle doesn't freelance for quarterbacks he doesn't trust. Brandon Ayuk doesn't win isolation routes without confidence in ball placement. Deebo Samuel doesn't commit to timing routes unless the quarterback hits his spot. With Purdy, those relationships are clean.
Routes are crisp.
Throws arrive on time. Adjustments happen naturally. That doesn't happen with uncertainty under center. And when things break down, because they always do in the NFL, Purdy doesn't default to hero ball.
He takes what's there.
He avoids negative plays. He keeps the offense on schedule. Now let's address the criticism directly.
Does Brock Purdy have elite arm strength?
No.
Does he throw with touch, anticipation, and placement? Absolutely.
Quarterbacking is about matchups and leverage, not radar gun readings. Purdy understands where defenders are vulnerable. He throws receivers open, not just to them.
That's a skill. And it's one that doesn't age quickly.
This is why his game projects forward.
And here's another uncomfortable truth for critics.
If Purdy were doing this on a losing team, the conversation would already be different. Winning amplifies scrutiny instead of silencing it. Because success challenges narratives.
Now, let's talk about leadership.
Brock Purdy doesn't lead with volume.
He leads with consistency.
Teammates know what they're getting every week. Same preparation, same demeanor, same accountability.
That matters in a locker room full of stars.
He doesn't try to be the loudest voice. He earns respect through reliability. And that's exactly why veterans trust him.
Now, zoom out for a moment.
The 49ers are built to win now. The roster is veteran-heavy. The margin for error is small. This team does not have time for quarterback experiments.
And yet, they've doubled down on Purdy.
That tells you everything. They're not building around him because they have no choice. They're building around him because they believe he elevates the group. Now, let's talk about the future. The most important question isn't whether Brock Purdy can win games. He already has. The question is whether he can carry the offense when something goes wrong.
And the answer, quietly, has been yes.
When protection falters, he adjusts.
When the run game stalls, he distributes.
When defenses take away the first option, he finds the second. That's franchise quarterback behavior. Not flashy, not loud, but effective. And here's the reality. The NFL is moving away from chaos quarterbacks. The league is valuing efficiency, intelligence, and decision-making again. Brock Purdy fits that shift perfectly.
Now, let me leave you with this.
Every season, the NFL tells us who quarterbacks really are. Not through narratives, not through debates, through repetition.
Brock Purdy has been consistent.
And consistency at quarterback is the rarest currency in this league. So the question isn't whether the 49ers trust Brock Purdy. They already do. The real question is how long the rest of the league keeps pretending he's something he's not. Because what he is a quarterback who wins. And quarterbacks like that don't disappear.